Darth Theorist, rise. A Halloween Star Wars what if. Dr. Darkside. Let's explore the depths of it in the video. The apartment reeked of expensive wine and cheap secrets. Darth Plagueis the Wise, though wise had always been a self-bestowed title, reclined in his chair like a corpse, pretending at life. The Muun's elongated features were slack with intoxication, his breathing shallow and rhythmic. Behind him, Coruscant's endless cityscape glittered through floor-to-ceiling windows, a galaxy of lights that never slept, never stopped consuming itself. Sheev Palpatine stood in the doorway, perfectly still, watching. The election results had come through hours ago. Chancellor Palpatine. The words tasted like victory and venom in equal measure. Everything had aligned. Naboo's sympathy vote, Valorum's weakness, the Trade Federation's convenient villainy, all of it orchestrated across decades of careful manipulation. But there was one final piece. One teacher who had taught him everything, except how to let go of power. Palpatine's hand drifted to the lightsaber concealed beneath his robes. The weapon felt cold, eager. How many times had Plagueis warned him about attachment, about sentimentality? The old Muun had been right about that, at least. Palpatine felt nothing as he moved forward. No remorse, no hesitation. Only the dark side, pure and clarifying as a surgical laser. The blade ignited with a snap hiss that should have woken the dead. Plagueis didn't stir. Palpatine drove the crimson blade through his master's heart with the precision of a jeweler making a final cut. The lightsaber pierced flesh, bone, and the expensive upholstery with equal ease. For a moment, there was only the hum of the weapon and the smell of cauterized tissue. Then Plagueis opened his eyes. But there was no pain in them, no betrayal, no fear, only relief. The Muun's lips pulled back in a smile so wide it threatened to split his face. His teeth, too many teeth, Palpatine thought with sudden unease.
I won.
The words came out as a laugh, as a death rattle, as a promise.
Master,
But the words died in his throat. A holocron on Plagueis' chest, one Palpatine had never seen before, began to glow. Crimson veins of light spiderwebbed across its surface, pulsing in rhythm with Plagueis' failing heartbeat. Once, twice, 3 times. Then it cracked open like an egg. Black mist poured out, not smoke. Mist, thick and oily and alive. It rolled across the floor with purpose, curling upward in defiance of physics or sense. Red lightning crackled through it, illuminating shapes that might have been faces, might have been hands reaching out, might have been nothing at all.
what is this? What have you done?
He yanked the lightsaber free and back toward the door, but the mist was faster. It spread like a living thing, engulfing furniture, walls, windows. The glittering lights of Coruscant vanished behind a curtain of darkness. Within seconds, the entire apartment was drowning in it. Palpatine ran. His hands found a wall, cold, smooth, unhelpful. He felt along it, desperately searching for the door, for any escape. But the mist had swallowed everything. He couldn't see his own hands, couldn't see anything except the occasional pulse of red lightning illuminating nothing useful. Then his throat began to burn. It started as a tickle, the kind you get before a cough. Then it became a scratch. Then it felt like he'd swallowed broken glass, like acid was eating him from the inside out.
Master.
His eyes. Gods. His eyes. They felt like they were melting, like someone had replaced them with hot coals and was pressing them deeper into his skull. Tears streamed down his face. Or was that blood? He couldn't tell. He couldn't think. Each breath was a razor blade dragged across his raw flesh. He coughed and blood sprayed from his lips, black in the red-lit darkness. The coughs came harder, faster, each one tearing something loose inside him.
Master, please. Please, Master, I'm sorry. I'll obey. Anything. Everything.
Through the agony, through the blood and the burning and the darkness, he heard it again. Plagueis' laughter echoing from everywhere and nowhere, reverberating through the mist like the voice of the dark side itself. It was the sound of victory, of revenge, of something far worse than death.
At last. At last.
The pain reached a crescendo. Palpatine screamed, or tried to. His voice was gone, shredded into nothing. His mind was fragmented, thoughts scattering like startled birds. And then, impossibly, the pain stopped. All of it. The burning, the bleeding, the agony, gone in an instant, replaced by something else entirely. Bliss. Pure, overwhelming, ecstatic bliss flooded through him. Every nerve ending sang with pleasure. He felt powerful, invincible, complete in a way he'd never experienced. For one perfect moment, Sheev Palpatine was happy. Then, the world went dark. Consciousness returned like a lightsaber igniting. Sudden, bright, painful. Palpatine's eyes snapped open. He lay on the floor of the apartment, his robes twisted around him, his face pressed against cold tile. For a disorienting moment, he wondered if he'd died, if this was the neverworld of the Force, some anteroom before life and disillusion. But no, the apartment looked exactly as it had before. The furniture was undisturbed. The windows showed Coruscant's eternal cityscape, beautiful and indifferent. There was no mist, no red lightning, no sign of the horror that had just consumed him. And there, slumped in the chair with a lightsaber burn through his chest, was Darth Plagueis the Wise, dead. Finally dead. Palpatine pushed himself to his feet, checking his body for injuries. His throat felt fine. His eyes didn't burn. Even his robes were immaculate, as if the past few minutes, hours, how long had he been unconscious, had never happened. A hallucination then, some final trick of Plagueis's, a Sith poison in the wine meant to punish him with phantom terrors. But it had failed. The old fool was dead, and Sheev Palpatine, Chancellor Palpatine, was alive and triumphant. He began to laugh. It started as a chuckle, but grew rapidly, echoing through the empty apartment, building into something manic and unleashed. He spread his arms wide, addressing the corpse, addressing the Force itself.
I've won. Do you hear me, you decrepit fool? Everything you've built, everything you planned, mine. I am the Dark Lord of the Sith. I am the Master. The Empire will be my creation, shaped by my hand. You are nothing but...
The words caught in his throat. A feeling, small at first, like a stone dropped into still water, then spreading, rippling outward. Regret. He stared at Plagueis' body, really looked at it for the first time. The Muun's face was frozen in that terrible smile, but there was something pathetic about it too. How long had they worked together? Decades. Plagueis had taught him everything, the nature of the Force, the secrets of the Sith, how to manipulate the Senate, how to see the patterns others missed.
I didn't have to.
The thought came unbidden, unwelcome. Did I truly need to kill him? Yes, of course, yes. That was the way of the Sith. The apprentice always killed the master. It was tradition, natural selection, the strong consuming the weak. Plagueis himself had killed his master, expected Palpatine to do the same eventually. Except,
what is the dark side?
The words felt strange in his mouth, uncertain, as if he were asking a question he'd never considered before. He looked down at his hands, at the lightsaber clipped to his belt, at the body cooling in the chair.
Who is this man?
Panic, sudden and overwhelming, crashed through him like a wave. His heart rate spiked, his vision narrowed. The apartment, familiar, the site of 1,000 meetings and lessons, suddenly felt alien, wrong. Why was he here? What had he done?
What the hell is going on?
The questions came faster, a cascade of confusion and terror. Why was there a dead body? Had he killed this person? Why would he do that? Who was he? Chancellor? Chancellor of what? The Republic? What Republic? The room pressed in. The walls weren't moving, but they felt closer. The shadows in the corners seemed darker, deeper, like they were growing, spreading, watching him with invisible eyes that burrowed into his skull. His heart began to hammer. Too fast, too hard. He could feel it trying to escape his chest. He could feel each beat like a fist punching against his ribs from the inside. His lungs couldn't get enough air. Each breath was shallow, insufficient, leaving him gasping like a drowning man.
Who am I? Who am I?
The existential dread hit like a physical blow. His sense of self, that fundamental certainty that he was someone, that he existed as a coherent being, dissolved like salt in water. There was a body standing in this room, hands shaking, heart racing. But who was inside it? What was inside it? He ran. Through the door, down the corridor, into his personal ship, moving on autopilot, his body remembering what his mind couldn't grasp. The ship rose into Coruscant's traffic lanes, navigating toward somewhere. Home. Did he have a home? Yes, apartment 3. His sanctuary. Safe. He needed to get there. Needed to think. Needed to understand what was happening to him. But the city had eyes. Every window and every building held a face. Not literal faces. He couldn't make out features at this distance, but he could feel them. Millions of beings, all of them watching, judging, knowing what he'd done. The pedestrians on the skywalks stopped and turned as he passed. The drivers in adjacent speeders slowed, their silhouettes in the driver's seat motionless, heads swiveling to track his movement.
They know. They all know.
The words came out as a whimper. His hands clenched the ship's controls until his knuckles went white. The trembling had spread from his fingers to his arms, his shoulders, his whole body vibrating like a plucked string. His chest tightened further. It felt like someone had wrapped bands of steel around his ribs and was slowly, inexorably tightening them. Each breath was a struggle. Each heartbeat was a thunderclap that drowned out everything else. The panic attack, though he didn't have the words for it, consumed him entirely. Reality narrowed to a pinpoint of terror. The city lights blurred. The traffic sounds became a roar like rushing water. His vision tunneled until all he could see was directly ahead. Everything else faded into static and shadow. His ship landed on his private platform. The door hissed open. He stumbled out, gasping for air that wouldn't come, clawing at his collar as if the fabric were strangling him. His legs barely supported him. He careened off a wall, bounced off a pillar, somehow made it to the entrance. The door controls, where were they? His fingers slapped uselessly at the panel. Nothing made sense. The buttons were just shapes, the symbols meaningless. How did doors work? How did anything work? Somehow, muscle memory, luck, the force, the door opened. He fell through it, landed on his hands and knees inside. The door sealed behind him with a pneumatic hiss that sounded like Plagueis' final breath.
No.
He crawled. He couldn't stand, couldn't think, could only move forward on instinct, like an animal seeking its burrow. The bedroom. He had to reach the bedroom. Had to. His vision was going dark at the edges, gray static eating inward. His heart felt like it would explode. His lungs had forgotten how to expand. I'm dying, he thought with perfect clarity. This is death. The bed materialized in front of him. Cold sheets, soft pillows, salvation. He hauled himself onto it with the last of his strength, pulling his knees to his chest, curling into a fetal position. The world spun. His heartbeat thundered in his ears. Each breath rattled in his throat. His last thought was simple and terrified. What's wrong with me? Then, finally, mercifully, consciousness fled. His eyes snapped open, but they were different eyes now. Alert, focused, predatory. The man sat up smoothly, no trace of panic or weakness in his movements. He rolled his shoulders, stretched his neck, flexed his fingers, testing the body, familiarizing himself with its rhythms and responses. Perfect. Better than perfect. Young. Strong. Connected to the Force in ways his old Muun body had never been. He stood and walked to the balcony, opened the doors. The morning air of Coruscant washed over him, recycled and filtered. but carrying the smell of millions of lives being lived, billions of credits changing hands, a galaxy of opportunities. He breathed deeply, held it, released it in a long, satisfied sigh. Then he began to laugh. It started low, a rumble in his chest. Then it grew, resonating through the apartment, echoing off the walls. The laugh of a being who had died and been reborn, who had gambled everything on a single desperate play and won.
I've done it.
He spread his arms, embracing the city, the world, the future.
Decades of preparation, centuries of Sith knowledge, millennia of Darkside secrets, all leading to this moment, to this perfection.
He looked down at his new hands, turned them over, marveling at the smooth skin, the strong fingers, Palpatine's hands. But his to control now, his to use.
The fool thought he was killing me, thought he was claiming power. But every step of his training, every lesson I taught him was preparation for this. I wanted him to kill me, needed him to, because the spell wouldn't work unless I was at the moment of death. Unless my life was genuinely ending. And now his body is mine, his reputation, his position as Chancellor, his network of contacts and pawns and useful idiots. Everything he built, thinking it was for himself. All of it was for me. The grand plan continues. The Jedi will fall. The Republic will burn. And from the ashes, an empire. My empire. Not Palpatine's. Not some petty tyrant's fever dream, but a true Sith domain, lasting 1,000 years or more.
He turned back into the apartment, his mind already racing ahead. The Trade Federation needed instructions. Darth Maul needed to be deployed. The pieces were in place, but they needed the Master's hand to move them properly.
Thank you, my dear apprentice, for this wonderful gift. Your body, your life, your future.
He smiled, a cold, calculating expression that would have terrified anyone who saw it.
Now, to continue my work.
He met with Viceroy Newt Gunray via holoprojector, going over the final details.
Chancellor Palpatine, the Jedi have interfered as predicted, but we have the Queen in custody.
Excellent. Ensure she signs the treaty. Use whatever pressure is necessary.
And if she continues to refuse?
Then she will watch her people suffer until she...
The words caught. Stuck. His mouth tried to form them, but something else was pushing through, fighting for control.
Until we can negotiate a peaceful resolution.
The words came out wrong. Soft, compassionate. Gunray's holographic form flickered with confusion.
Chancellor, I thought we agreed. Negotiate in good faith, Viceroy. The blockade has made your point. Now we seek compromise.
But Lord Sidious said...
Sidious? I don't know that name.
The words burst out with surprising vehemence. Gunray recoiled, his already cowardly features going pale.
I apologize for the confusion, Viceroy. There has been a miscommunication. I'll contact you again when I have clearer instructions.
He terminated the connection before Gunray could respond. Then, Palpatine, the real Palpatine, the good one, looked down at his hands in horror and confusion. He was at his desk, the Chancellor's desk. Papers surrounded him. Reports, intelligence briefings, financial documents, his office, his position. But the last thing he remembered was his apartment. Had he been home? There had been something about a body, about panic, about... The memories fragmented when he tried to grasp them, like trying to hold smoke.
I must have blacked out. Memory loss.
He'd heard of such things. Stress, trauma, exhaustion. He'd been elected Chancellor of the entire Republic. The pressure must have been enormous. It made sense that his mind would skip, jump forward, lose time. He looked at the documents on his desk, financial records from the Trade Federation, communications logs, transaction histories, evidence. He'd been investigating something. The more he read, the clearer it became. Corruption. Vast, systemic corruption reaching through the Republic like rot through wood. Shell companies, bribed senators, manipulated votes. Someone was playing the Trade Federation and the Senate against each other, using the Naboo crisis as a cover for something larger.
This is monstrous.
But also strangely familiar, as if he'd known about this before, as if he'd been tracking it for a long time. The blackouts became more frequent. One moment he'd be in a Senate committee meeting, listening to some bureaucrat drone about trade routes. The next he'd be back in his office, with hours missing and new documents on his desk. Documents he had no memory of creating. He started keeping a journal, trying to track the gaps, but the entries were inconsistent, written in his handwriting but describing things he didn't remember doing. Meetings he hadn't attended, conversations he'd never had. Eventually, Palpatine found himself staring at a banking statement that shouldn't exist. It was his account, his private, secure, absolutely secret account that existed in no official records, the one even his closest advisors didn't know about. And it showed a transfer. 10 million credits to a shell company in the Outer Rim. A shell company that, according to his investigation, was funneling money to the Trade Federation. He cross-referenced it, checked the dates, verified the transaction codes, his account, his authorization, his transfer.
No. I'm being framed. Someone has access to my...
But the other documents told the same story. Communication logs showing his personal code contacting the Trade Federation. Meeting schedules that aligned perfectly with known acts of sabotage. Transaction after transaction, each one originating from him.
I'm fighting this. I'm trying to stop this.
But the evidence was clear, undeniable, damning. Everything led back to him. His hands trembled as he set down the datapad. His breathing quickened. The office felt too small, too close. The walls were pressing in, the air growing thin. He stumbled to his private refresher, barely making it before his stomach rebelled. He vomited into the sink, nothing but bile and fear. When it passed, he turned on the water. Cold, shocking. He splashed it on his face again and again, trying to wash away the panic, the confusion, the terrible certainty growing in his mind. He looked up at the mirror, and something else was looking back. His face, but not. The same features, but twisted. The eyes burned yellow, lit from within by something ancient and malevolent. The smile was too wide, showing too many teeth. The shadows seemed to gather around the reflection, even though the light in the refresher was bright and even.
What?
Hello, Sheev.
The voice was his, but layered, echoing, touched with something that made his skin crawl.
This isn't... I'm hallucinating. The stress, the investigation. No hallucination. I am as real as you are. More real, perhaps. What are you?
The reflection's smile widened impossibly further.
I'm you. The part you tried to suppress. The darkness you've always carried inside. Lies. I'm not. I would never. The Trade Federation blockade. You arranged it. The invasion of Naboo. Your plan. The corruption you've been investigating so earnestly. You are the architect, Sheev. All of it traces back to you because you did it. No. I'm trying to save the Republic. I'm trying to help people. Are you? Or is that just what you tell yourself while your other half, your true half, works to tear it all down?
Palpatine slammed his fists on the sink. The mirror rattled but didn't break.
I don't believe you. Then explain the blackouts, the missing time, the evidence that all points to you. Someone is framing me, manipulating the records. Who could possibly have that much access to your private accounts, your personal codes, your most secure systems?
The question hung in the air like a blade.
Only you, Sheev. Only you could do this. Because it's not someone else. It's you. The darkness has always been inside you. I'm just the part you were too weak to acknowledge. I'm not evil. I'm not a monster. Aren't you? Think about it. Really think. How did you become Chancellor? Through manipulation. Through using Naboo's suffering for political gain. Through betraying everyone who trusted you. That wasn't some other person. That was you. The real you.
Palpatine's legs gave out. He collapsed against the wall, sliding down until he sat on the cold tile floor.
I can't be. You are. And the sooner you accept it, the sooner we can stop pretending. You're a monster, Sheev. You always have been. And there's nothing you can do about it.
The reflection faded, leaving only his own pale, terrified face staring back at him. Desperation drove Palpatine to the Jedi Temple. He went in the dead of night, when the halls were empty and the meditation chambers silent. Master Yoda received him without question, those ancient eyes seeing more than Palpatine wanted to reveal. The confession spilled out, the blackouts, the missing time, the evidence of crimes he couldn't remember committing, the terrible certainty that something evil was living inside him. Yoda listened, probed gently with the Force, and confirmed what Palpatine already knew. There was a war inside him, light and shadow, locked in combat, something unnatural, something wrong. The Jedi Master agreed to help, though at Yoda's insistence. No council record exists of these sessions. The meditation sessions became Palpatine's anchor. Every dawn, before the Senate convened, he would sit in Yoda's chambers and try to find stillness, try to quiet the screaming chaos of his mind. It was harder than any political battle he'd ever fought. His thoughts raced constantly, plans, schemes, contingencies, all of it spiraling endlessly. But slowly, painfully, he improved. Minutes of genuine peace broke through the static, moments where he felt like himself again. Yoda told him the darkness was weakening, that he was getting better. Palpatine didn't tell him the blackouts were getting worse. Days would vanish. He'd be meditating with Yoda, then wake up on Naboo with no memory of the journey. Treaties would be signed. Crises would be solved. The machinery of his dark half's plan continued grinding forward while he sat trying to find inner peace. The Naboo situation resolved itself. Or rather, Plagueis resolved it, using Palpatine's body and authority, while the real Palpatine was lost in meditation or unconsciousness, or whatever limbo he inhabited during the blackouts. And through it all, hidden in the darkness of Palpatine's fractured mind, Plagueis watched, planned, moved the pieces forward with patience born of centuries. The meditation helped Palpatine feel better, but it didn't stop what was happening. It couldn't. One day, he came to his office with a young boy in front of him.
Master Yoda says you're a friend.
The boy was 9 years old, small for his age, but carried himself with unusual confidence. His eyes were startlingly blue, intense in a way that suggested he saw more than most children. Palpatine, the good one, the one currently in control, smiled warmly.
I hope to be, Anakin. I've heard remarkable things about you. The chosen one, they say.
I don't know about that. I just want to be a Jedi, to help people.
A noble goal. The galaxy needs more people who want to help, rather than hurt.
They were in Palpatine's office. Obi-Wan had brought the boy by, something about introducing him to the political side of the Jedi's work, but the Jedi Master had stepped out to take communication, leaving Palpatine and Anakin alone.
Master Yoda says you're learning to control darkness inside you, that you're really brave for asking for help.
Did he? Well, Master Yoda is wise. Sometimes the bravest thing we can do is admit we need help.
I think so too. My mom always said that asking for help doesn't make you weak. It makes you smart.
Something in the boy's voice, the mention of his mother, the hint of loss and longing, touched Palpatine deeply. He found himself drawn to this child, this intense little person who'd been torn away from everything he knew and thrust into a life of rigid discipline and ancient rules.
Your mother sounds wise as well. I hope I can be someone you feel comfortable asking for help, Anakin. The Jedi are good people, but they can be distant sometimes. If you ever need someone to talk to, someone outside the Order.
Really? That would be... Thank you, Chancellor.
The boy's smile was brilliant, unguarded, genuine, and Palpatine, the good version, the one who genuinely cared, felt his heart warm. He would be a friend to this boy, a guide, a father figure perhaps, for a child who'd left everything behind on a desert slave world. It was the least he could do. the most good he could accomplish while fighting the darkness that consumed more of him every day. Years passed, the blackouts continued, the missing time accumulated, but the pattern became almost manageable in a horrible way. The med center of Theed hummed. Children's laughter echoed between glass-walled wards. They wore plain linen robes, tiny bacta patches shining like medals. Naboo's Project Dawnlight, a humanitarian clinic funded personally by the Chancellor. Palpatine stood amongst the children, the sunlight spilling through the windows, and good Palpatine's genuine smile.
You're very brave. Every one of you.
A girl no older than 8 walked up to the Chancellor and tugged on his sleeve.
Is it true you talk to the Jedi?
Sometimes, when they're not too busy saving the galaxy.
The girl giggled, and the Chancellor laughed with her. For a moment, peace. Then, the world blinked. Theed was gone. The medbay was silent now, sterile and wrong. The girl lay on the diagnostic table under a single harsh lamp. Sensors mapped her brainwaves. Palpatine stood over her. Posture changed. Shoulders straighter. Eyes dull with calculation.
She shows potential. A strong connection to the Force.
He pressed a button on the console. The girl stirred, groggy.
Chancellor?
He didn't answer. His hand hovered above her chest, fingers curling slightly. The air shimmered.
It hurts.
Pain is the truest test of power,
my sweet girl.
She convulsed. The monitors spiked, alarms shrieked, then died. The smell of ozone and burning filled the air. He watched without reaction until her body went still. Then he straightened the sheets, smoothed her hair, and turned the lights off.
Pity.
Their efficiency must remain.
Let's begin the next calibration.
The next morning, the news drone hovers in Theed, telling an unfortunate story.
Tragic power surge claims children at Project Dawnlight.
Palpatine, now himself again, stands frozen before the broadcast. The words blur on the screen. He doesn't even register what it's saying.
She trusted me.
They all did.
He stares at his reflection in the monitor, his own eyes hollowed and unfamiliar. He can't fathom what he's becoming, and it's only the beginning. The war didn't wait for his conscience to recover. Entire systems were already burning. The Clone Wars began. Good Palpatine had no memory of authorizing the clone army. Found the documentation afterward, in his own hand, with his own authorization codes. Another thing his dark half had done while he wasn't there. Through it all, Anakin grew. From a boy to a teenager to a young man. They remained close. Sometimes good Palpatine would be the one talking to him, offering genuine advice, encouraging his compassion, supporting his relationship with Padme, which Palpatine somehow knew about, though he couldn't remember how. Other times, dark Palpatine would be there, Plagueis, wearing Sheev's face and voice, carefully manipulating the boy toward darkness.
You told me the Jedi were wrong about attachment, that loving Padme doesn't make me weak.
I did.
They were in Palpatine's office, Anakin visiting between missions. The young Jedi Knight looked confused.
Last week, you said love is strength, not weakness. That the Jedi's rules about detachment are what's holding the Order back.
I don't remember saying that, Anakin.
The blackouts again?
It's getting worse. I lose days now. Entire conversations I have no memory of.
But you're still working with Master Yoda, right?
When I can. When I'm present.
You'll beat this, Chancellor. I know you will. You're one of the strongest people I know.
I appreciate your faith, my boy. But I fear the darkness is winning. More and more, I feel like a passenger in my own body, watching through windows as someone else makes decisions, says things, does things I would never do.
Like what?
Good Palpatine hesitates. How much could he tell? Anakin was a Jedi. If he knew the full extent of the evil being committed in Palpatine's name.
Count Dooku contacted me, asked me to meet in secret. I refused, obviously. Told him I'd never negotiate with traitors. But then I found a response in my communication logs. A response I did not write, agreeing to the meeting.
Did you go?
I must have. I lost 2 days that week. No memory of where I was or what I did. When I came back, There were encrypted messages on my personal terminal. Coordinates, meeting times. I deleted them immediately.
You should tell the Council.
And say what? That I'm having secret meetings with the enemy but can't remember them. They'd arrest me, Anakin. And maybe they should. Maybe that's the right thing.
No. You're fighting this. You're one of the good ones, Chancellor. The Jedi know that. I know that.
But did Anakin know? Really? Or was he being manipulated by both versions of Palpatine, turned slowly toward a darkness he didn't see coming? The war ground on. Victories and losses, battles and betrayals. And through it all, good Palpatine caught glimpses of the larger plan. Pieces of it. Fragments visible in the documents he discovered. The orders he'd find already given. An army of clones with inhibitor chips. A secret protocol called Order 66. A plan to transform the Republic into an empire. His dark half was orchestrating everything, using his position, his authority, his relationships to build power towards something monstrous.
I have to stop this.
He was alone in his office, talking to himself, or maybe to the reflection he sometimes saw in the mirror and windows, the yellow-eyed monster wearing his face.
If I can't control you, can't stop the blackouts, then I'll sabotage you. Leave evidence for the Jedi. Warnings. Something they can use to...
But even as he said it, he knew it wouldn't work, because whenever he tried, whenever he got close to exposing the plan, he'd black out. And when he came back, his warnings would be deleted, his evidence destroyed. The dark half was too strong, too careful, too much in control.
Give up, Sheev. You've already lost.
The voice came from the window, from his reflection in the transparisteel, yellow eyes gleaming in the dying light of Coruscant's sunset.
Never. As long as I have any control at all, I'll fight you. Such determination. Such nobility. It's wasted, you know. You're nothing but a ghost now, haunting a body that belongs to me.
Good Palpatine woke to find Anakin sitting across from him in his office. The young Jedi Knight looked older than his years, worn down by years of war. There were lines around his eyes that hadn't been there before.
And that's why I think we need to authorize the attack on Utapau. Grievous is there. If we can end him, we might be able to bring the Separatists to the negotiation table.
Yes. That sounds... Anakin, what were we just discussing?
The Outer Rim sieges. Are you alright? You were just talking about strategic positioning.
Another blackout. How long was I?
We've been talking for about 20 minutes. But you seemed fine. Engaged even. Made some really good points about the supply lines.
20 minutes. 20 minutes where someone else had been driving, speaking with his voice, using his knowledge, and Anakin hadn't noticed because the imitation was perfect. How much had the dark half said? What seeds had been planted?
Anakin, I need to tell you something. About what I am. What I've become.
You're my friend. One of the best people I know.
No. I'm a monster wearing the skin of a good man. And I think I'm running out of time. The darkness is taking over more and more. Soon there won't be enough of me left to fight back.
Then we'll figure something out. Maybe if you stop the meditation sessions, stop fighting so hard, you could...
Let it consume me completely? No, Anakin. I may be losing this war, but I won't surrender.
You're not losing. You're still here, still fighting. That counts for something.
Does it? When every day I wake up to find I've moved my own chess pieces closer to checkmate. When I'm being used to destroy the very republic I swore to protect.
He stood, walked to the window. Coruscant stretched out below, vast and indifferent. Somewhere out there, the Jedi Masters were leading clone troopers into battle. Those same clone troopers who had chips in their heads, programmed to murder their generals at a single command. A command he would give, not because he wanted to, but because the darkness would use his voice to speak the words.
I think it's time I told the Jedi Council everything. All of it. The blackouts, the conspiracy. Everything I've found. Even if they arrest me, even if they execute me, it might be the only way to stop what's coming.
They won't execute you. You're the Chancellor. And more importantly, you're you. They know you're good.
Do they? Do you?
He turned back to Anakin, and in that moment felt the darkness stirring. Not the full blackout, not yet, but a presence. Watching, listening, preparing to take control.
Anakin, listen to me very carefully. If I ever seem different, if I say things that go against everything I've taught you, you need to.
The world tilted, his vision blurred.
No, not now. Please, not.
Darkness.
Which is why the Jedi Council can't be trusted with the full truth.
Anakin blinked, confused by the sudden shift in tone. Palpatine's expression had changed, harder, more calculating.
Chancellor? You just said you were going to tell them everything.
Did I? A moment of weakness, I'm afraid. The blackouts leave me confused. But I'm clear now. The Jedi Council has been compromised, Anakin. I have evidence that members of the Order are in communication with Count Dooku.
What? That's impossible.
Is it? Master Yoda has been pushing for peace negotiations. Master Windu has questioned my emergency powers. Why would they do this unless they had their own agenda?
They're just trying to end the war.
Or they're trying to undermine the Republic from within.
The manipulation was subtle, expert. Plagueis had centuries of practice in twisting words, in finding the cracks in a person's faith, and driving wedges into them. But even as he spoke, he felt resistance. The good version of Palpatine, buried but not dead, pushing back, fighting for control. The battle was getting harder. The light was weak, barely a flicker now, but it was stubborn. Every time Plagueis thought he'd finally crushed it, it would surge back, forcing him into these exhausting internal struggles.
But we'll speak of this another time. I'm feeling tired.
Should I call a medical droid?
No, just give me a moment to learn.
Anakin left, concerned but obedient. As soon as the door closed, Plagueis released his hold slightly, and good Palpatine surged back.
No more.
He was on his knees, hands pressed against the floor. The internal battle had left him physically exhausted. Every day it got harder. Every day the darkness held on longer.
You can't win. Why do you keep fighting? Because it's right. Because people depend on me. Because Anakin...
Ah, yes, the boy. You've grown attached to him,
Haven't you? How touching.
how pathetic.
He's good. Pure. Everything I wish I could be. He's conflicted. Angry.
Full of fear and love and all things the Jedi forbid. He's perfect.
Stay away from him. I can't. Because you won't.
You keep him close. Keep him building that relationship.
You're helping me destroy him, Sheev. Every moment of friendship,
Every word of advice.
you're setting him up to fail.
No.
I'll warn him. I'll tell him everything. He'll understand.
Will he?
Think about what you'll sound like. Anakin, I'm secretly evil, but also good, but also evil again. I'm possessed by my dead master. Trust me, he'll think you're insane. The Jedi will have you committed or eliminated, and then I'll have complete control, and there won't even be a ghost left to haunt this body.
The voice was right. Good Palpatine knew it was right. There was no good option. Every path led to darkness, unless an idea formed. Terrible, final, but maybe the only way. The Clone Wars were entering their final phase. Good Palpatine could feel it, even in the fragments of time he still controlled. The pieces were moving into place. The trap was closing. He'd managed to send coded warnings to the Jedi Council, anonymous tips about Order 66, about the clone ships, about the conspiracy, but they'd been ignored or explained away. Dark Palpatine was too skilled, had too much political capital. Any accusations seemed like paranoid delusions of a strained mind. Anakin had grown darker. Good Palpatine could see it in his eyes, in the way he moved. The war had hardened him, and his dark half had been whispering poison, slowly, carefully, for years.
I'm losing him too,
He said to his reflection, the monstrous version that sometimes appeared.
Everything I tried to protect, everyone I cared about,
You're going to destroy it all. We're going to destroy it all. You're as much a part of this as I am. Your body, your voice, your relationships. All tools I've used because you provided them. Then I'll take those tools away. How? You can barely hold on for more than a few hours at a time now. Soon you'll be nothing but a memory. Then I'll make those few hours count.
Good Palpatine woke to find himself in his office. Anakin was sitting across from him, talking about something. A nightmare, his mother. The words faded in and out as Good Palpatine oriented himself. How long until the darkness took over again? Minutes? Hours? He had to make this count.
Anakin, I need to tell you something.
Padme is pregnant. I can't lose her, Chancellor. I can't.
Pregnant? The word hit like a physical blow. Of course Dark Palpatine would have known about this. Would have been planning around it.
Anakin, listen to me. I'm not what you think I am.
What do you mean?
There are two of us. Two minds in this body. One good, one evil. And the evil one is winning. It's been using our friendship, using your trust to manipulate you toward the dark side.
Chancellor, are you feeling all right? Maybe you need to rest.
I don't have time to rest. Don't you understand? I'm running out of time. Soon there won't be any good left. And then everything, the war, the Republic, you, all of it will be destroyed.
Okay. Let's get Master Yoda. He can help.
No. The moment I leave this room, I'll lose control. I can feel it happening already. The darkness pushing, waiting for its chance.
And he could. The familiar pressure at the back of his mind. The sense of something vast and patient, waiting to consume him.
Then what do you want me to do?
I want you to understand. When I change, and I will change, don't trust me. Don't believe anything I say. I'll try to turn you against the Jedi, against Padme, against everything you believe in. And I'll be convincing because I'll use years of friendship as leverage.
You would never.
I wouldn't. But he will.
The pressure increases. His vision starts to blur at the edges. Not much time left.
Promise me, Anakin. Promise me you'll remember this conversation. That you'll hold on to your light no matter what he says to you.
I promise.
But there was doubt in his voice. Confusion. He didn't understand. Not really. How could he? The truth was too strange. Too unbelievable. Good Palpatine felt the darkness rising like a wave. One final chance. One final warning.
If the dark version of me ever wins completely, if I ever become someone you don't recognize, stop me. Whatever it takes. Even if
the world went black.
Even if it means my death.
Anakin jerked back, startled by the sudden shift in tone. Palpatine's eyes had gone cold, calculating. The warmth that had been there seconds before was gone, replaced by something predatory, but almost immediately, the expression flickered. A struggle played out across Palpatine's face, features contorting, eyes squeezing shut, hands gripping the arms of his chair until the knuckles went white.
Chancellor?
No, I won't. You can't.
The voice was strangled, desperate. Palpatine's hand shot out, gripping Anakin's wrist with surprising strength.
Run. Get out. Tell the Jedi.
Then his hand released, falling limp to his side. His eyes opened again. Yellow now, burning with inner fire.
Pay no attention to that. The blackouts make me confused, paranoid.
What's happening to you?
Nothing. Everything is...
His face contorted again. A roar of rage and frustration burst from Palpatine's throat. Inhuman, terrible. His hands clawed at his own head, as if trying to tear something free.
Fighting. Still fighting.
Stop. You're making this harder for the both of us.
Good.
Anakin watched in horror as Chancellor Palpatine seemed to war within himself. The man's body convulsed, hands alternately reaching for something on his desk, then pulling back, then reaching again. Finally, one trembling hand closed around a lightsaber hidden in a desk drawer.
You have a lightsaber?
The weapon trembled in Palpatine's grip as two wills fought for control. His arm slowly, inexorably begins to rise, pointing the weapon at Anakin.
No, I won't let you hurt him.
The arm jerked down, then up again, down, up, a horrifying puppet show with deadly stakes.
Let me go. He's nothing. A tool to be used. He's a person. A good person. Everything you'll never be.
The lightsaber ignited, a crimson blade that cast demonic shadows across the office walls. Anakin's hand dropped to his own weapon, but he didn't draw it. Couldn't draw it. This was Chancellor Palpatine, his friend, his mentor.
Anakin, please. The darkness wants to kill you. Trying to stop it, but can't hold on much longer.
Then let me help. We can fight this together.
No. Time is too strong. The war, the clones, all part of his plan. He'll destroy the Jedi. Destroy everything.
The blade trembled violently, Palpatine's arm shaking with the effort of two wills trying to control the same muscles. One trying to drive it into Anakin's heart, one trying to throw it away.
Enough of this. He's weak. He's always been weak. Let me strengthen you, young Skywalker. Let me show you power beyond the Jedi's limited understanding.
Don't listen. He'll destroy you.
Lightning crackled from Palpatine's fingertips, weak, unfocused, spreading across the desk and scorching the expensive wood. Neither version had full control. They were locked in a stalemate, each preventing the other from taking command.
Chancellor!
Anakin finally drew his lightsaber, but he didn't attack. He stood frozen, blue blade ignited, watching as the man he trusted for years tore himself apart. Palpatine's lightsaber was rising again, inch by agonizing inch. Good Palpatine fought with everything he had left, but he was so tired, so weak. The darkness had been draining him for years, and there was almost nothing left to fight with.
Anakin, please. Strike me down. The only way to stop him.
I can't. You're my friend.
Not your friend. Not anymore. Barely. Even here.
More lightning erupted. Wild and uncontrolled, it blasted the walls, leaving scorch marks and abstract patterns. The windows cracked with sharp snap sounds, like breaking bones. One panel shattered completely, opening the office to Coruscant's howling winds 3,000 stories above the planet's surface. Papers swirled through the air, the room's temperature dropped. The wind carried sounds from below, speeder horns, distant sirens, the endless hum of a city that never slept.
Enough of this farce. The boy is mine. He's always been mine. You're nothing but a ghost, Palpatine. A fragment, an echo. Let go and die with dignity.
No.
With a final, desperate surge of will, good Palpatine turned the Force inward, not to attack his darker self, but to attack himself, to tear at the connections that kept him alive, to sever the threads that bond his consciousness to this body. If he couldn't control it, he'd destroy it. Lightning poured from both hands now, coursing over his body, through his body. The smell of burning flesh filled the office. His robes began to smolder, his skin blistered and cracked, revealing muscle and bone beneath.
Stop! You're killing yourself!
That's the point.
He stumbled toward the shattered window, legs barely working. Each step was a battle, each breath was agony, but he kept moving, using the last reserves of his strength to drag both himself and the monster inside toward the edge.
What are you doing? Stop this. Stop this.
For the first time, there was fear in the dark voice, genuine terror.
You can't. We'll both die. Is that what you want? To murder yourself out of spite? Not spite.
He reached the window. The wind was stronger here, tearing at his burnt robes, pulling at his hair. Below, Coruscant stretched to infinity. A vertical city, light and shadow and endless falling.
Love.
He turned back to face Anakin. The young Jedi stood frozen, lightsaber finally ignited but held uselessly at his side. His face was a mask of anguish, tears streaming down his cheeks.
Love. Padme. Tell her. With everything. Don't let darkness take you. Like it took me.
Please don't do this. There has to be another way.
No other way.
He's too strong. Too deep. Only death stops him.
Palpatine's hands, burnt, shaking, barely functional, reach out toward Anakin. Not in threat, in benediction.
You have a good heart. Anakin, keep it. Keep it pure. No, I won't let you. I won't. I love you, my boy.
The smile that crossed his ruined face was genuine, peaceful. The first real peace Sheev Palpatine had felt in years. Then he stepped backward, into nothing, into air, into the endless dark.
No!
Anakin lunged forward, arm outstretched, reaching with the Force. But Palpatine was already gone, already falling into the abyss of the city. Anakin stood at the shattered window, wind whipping his robes, staring down into the impossible distance. His lightsaber had fallen from nerveless fingers. His legs wouldn't move. His mind couldn't process what he'd just witnessed. Far below, smoke rose from the broken body. For an instant, it twisted into the shape of a Muun's grin before the wind took it. That's our tale. The Star Wars universe is a galaxy filled with exciting stories and possibilities, and we love exploring them. If you'd like to join us on this journey to a galaxy far, far away, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And happy Halloween!